Good morning, friends. This is Joseph from Joseph Digital Hub. Today, we are going to see about the topic of agri-tourism and the scope of agri-tourism in India. Let's go into the topic. Let's see what is today's agenda of this program. Today, we are going to see about the introduction of agri-tourism, concept of agri-tourism, why agri-tourism is needed, scope of agri-tourism in India, basic principles of agri-tourism, strategy for the promotions of agri-tourism concept, and the SWOT analysis. And finally, we end up with the conclusion. So let's see the introduction part. Today, agriculture is a main sector in India. It has been said as the backbone of the Indian economy, and more than 70% of the farmers are dependent on agriculture. When we think about tourism, tourism is a way to generate income to develop the way of life or the for the human development, and it also eradicates the poverty, and this being the second largest industry in the world which is supporting the society. Now, bringing in both the concepts, if we see, agri-tourism is the latest concept in the Indian tourism industry. This has been first developed in Maharashtra. Today, if you see in Maharashtra, almost in all districts, this agri-tourism centers has been implemented, and they have been very profitably running the centers. That is the biggest scope which we need to understand in today's market. In today's world, like there is lots of liberation and there is lots of communications, and there is lots of connection between the cities. Due to that, there will be a good potential of tourism growth if there is a promotion of agri-tourism. Then we go on to the concept of agri-tourism. Agri-tourism, as I already said, is a concept where it normally occurs in the farm. It gives an opportunity for the tourist to experience rural life, their food, and various farming tasks during the visit. Thirdly, agri-tourism, people go and visit for the purpose of getting relaxation. Today, in the modern world, like due to urbanization and various reasons, our kids have been not even having a knowledge of what is farming and what is agriculture and how they get their rice, what it has come to their kitchen, from their kitchen to their dining table, how it comes from and where it comes from. It is all are theoretical. They don't have a practical knowledge. So this agri-tourism concepts gives an experience for the next generation to admire about agriculture as well as to know about agriculture in a better way. Then we go, why we need agri-tourism? First, the situation of agriculture today. What is the situation of agriculture? Today, if you see, agriculture is becoming a very, 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 very non-profitable, you can say, or a loss-making, you can say, industry. And many people have left this industry and gone to some other industry, and they can't even cope up there. And there is a big scarcity for farmers today, and many lands have been converted into plots, and buildings have come up, and slowly we have been eradicating the agriculture sector little by little without our knowledge. What is the use for agri-tourism for farmers? If you see, it gives a supplement income for a farmer. It also develops them to understand the things what he has to follow. He learns something, and he also in a position to teach to the tourist as well as to promote and sustain in that industry. These are the advantage what the farmers have. Now finally we will come to the tourists. What the tourist will get. As I said in the previous slide itself, it is like they get relaxation, they get experience, they get a knowledge, or they get even a farm fresh products in their hand in a good reach. This is the biggest benefit for a tourist, as we can say. So next we will move on to scope of agri-tourism. If you see what is the scope in agri-tourism, developing an agri-tourism center, it is not an expensive getaway. It is going to be a normal farm where the activities already is continued there. Only we need to make an hygienic place to stay and toilets to be built and an ambience to be created for the tourists to stay and enjoy the activities. Secondly, if you see, many people have a curiosity to know about the farming industry and how their lifestyle. So this is an another advantage of why people need to come to visit agri-tourism. And also, if you see, it gives a strong or there is a strong demand for a family as a whole when they go to a tourist sector to get some recreation activities. When we see in agri-tourism, from the kids to the father, mother, and their grandparents. Like everyone has something to do in the farm. Like the kids can play with the pets over there. The wives, or your wife, or your mother, or your mother-in-law can enjoy the handicrafts or cooking. I think the guys, the elderly person, as well as the husbands can do some farming activities like sowing the seeds or even planting trees or something like that. So it is a good sort of recreation for the entire family. If we see in urban life, people are at the back of organic items, people are at the back of really to be with nature. So this gives an opportunity for it, and everyone has interest to natural to be in a natural environment rather than being in a man-made tourism sites. Today, whenever you go, there is all the sites or the resorts are overcrowded, and when it's a good holiday, you can't even enjoy anything in the traffic. It is just like how you live in a city life. A tourist destination becomes the same. And mostly, like everyone has a sentiments for farming and to know about farming. You will all agree. So they want to know this farming. So that is the biggest advantage when we have to promote to the market. And as I said, there is rural recreation and there is an education value too. Now we will see the basic principles of agritourism. Agritourism has three things to do. One is we need to set up what things the tourist can see. Secondly, we need to see what things the tourist can do. Thirdly, we need to see what the tourist can buy. To see, there should be some good farming activities, there should be some good amount of trees or birds or pets or something like that to offer them. And they need to have a good culture games or rural games or whatever can be activity wise, it has to be there. What they can do, like camel ride, uh, like having pets or a small pond they can do a fishing, like activity wise we can have a bullock cart, whatever it is, like getting milk from a cow, whatever it is, they have some activity because in farming there are many activities from morning to evening. So those activities can be provided to the tourists who come as an educational path. Thirdly, as they go back, they need some memories to take back their home. For that, we can hand over them some rural crafts or dress materials, farm fresh agricultural products, processed food, whatever may be. That can be used, or can be a memento, or it can be a thing where they can purchase and which is originally made on the farm itself. That gives a value rather than purchasing it from somewhere and keeping it in the farm. Next, we will go on. What is the opportunity are there in agri-tourism in India? Cross globe tourism is growing, as well as in India, the same tourism is keeping on developing, and many tourist destinations are coming up in recent days. Now, India has entered almost the 10th top 10 tourist destination list in Europe. So many people from Europe, US, and even from Australia love to visit India for various purposes. The reason why they want to visit India is India has a diverse culture and geography. You will not see anywhere. The whole of Europe you can see within India, like starting from the snow-capped mountains to the beaches to the temples, like to the deserts. Like you can say from culture, from geography, what not we have. Everything is there in India in terms of tourism. Nowadays, if you see, people wants to migrate from a urban tourist spot to a rural tourist spot. Why? If you see that reason, why? If you ask me the reason, people want already they are in a urban world. If you give a same ambience, people don't want to do the same thing. That's why they go to a different destination where they are somewhat isolated or somewhat having no hustle bustle, or they want to have a peaceful destination. So this gives a pakka or a very good opportunity for them. Today, the government is also promoting agriculture, and there is lots of activities or initiatives or policies the government is ready to amend. If there is any proposal or if there is any real materialistic thing can happen. So then we will later see the strategy for the agri-tourism. What all the strategy, marketing strategy we can use so that we can promote agri-tourism. Actually, if you see, uh, strategy wise, it is divided in four P's: product, price, place, and promotion. If you take product, as a product, it has many things. We have already discussed about those things that product wise they have like things to see, things to do, and things to purchase. So there's a product is already self-find. Now we have to come to the price. Price is a very uh, difficult part to decide of. Price is the one which decides the tourist destination. We can segment the customer pricing wise, like domestic and international tourists. We can have a segment like that, and due to some locations which is near the hill station or near the beaches, we can hike up the price. Like in tourism sector there is always like season and off season. You can also like when there is on weekdays you can reduce the price. On the weekdays you can reduce the price, and on weekends you can increase the price. So you can moderate, and you can have a standard income, or your rate of interest, or sorry, rate ROI, your rate of invest can be achieved. Next is the place. Whatever we say agri-tourism center, there should be a proper connectivity to that place. At least air, road, and rail. Out of three, at least two should be solid, where the tourists are easy to reach and they have a safe place to stay. These are the things to be seen in the uh, place part. Secondly, how are we going to do the promotions for? Just like that, we can have alliance with the airlines and tour operators, as well as the foreign embassies, where the countries that people want to do, like in Philippines, in Sri Lanka, this agri-tourism is being promoted like anything. Like that, we can hunt for the people from Europe as well as from other countries. Europe is a main hub where people want to come to visit for this agri-tourism, and it is being catered by Sri Lanka and Philippines a lot. Again, we have some alliance with the hotels nearby our agri-tourism center. Like we can offer them like a one-day package with the hotel stay, something like that. Like some give and take, both the hotel as well as this agri-tourism center has. Like they give a free trip if they are booked for 3 or 4 nights. Something like that offers can be going on. For that, we can make some alliance with the nearby hotels. And lastly, like promotion by the agri-tourism units itself, agri-tourism centers itself. Like there should be some promotional activities within, like as I said, souvenirs or your farm fresh products, whatever it is. Some processed product after cultivation can also be done, like sauce or jam. So there is a will be a natural and well advanced thing where the client will be really loving to have it. Okay. Let's move on to the SWOT analysis. SWOT is nothing but strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. First, we'll see about the strength and opportunities. As you all know, it will give a good income, employment generation, and rural development. These are the biggest strengths for agri-tourism. Opportunity wise, it has a immense scope for growth, and more farmers will be benefited. Government, with the government support, we can increase the outreach. Thirdly, the government lands can be converted into agri-tourism centers if it is properly proposed. So let's see about the threats and the weaknesses. Threats wise, if you see, climatic condition might be a biggest. It has less competition. No one will be like nearby to come. When someone is starting a center, there'll be less competition. Like immediately, someone is going to start there. We can make a cluster of farmers come together and do the agriculture, which will be more benefit. So the competition will not is not there, and it is again it is somewhat it is a strength only. Second, like the final threat will be like people are just migrating from farming to the other industry. That is the biggest threat we have. Weakness wise, if you see, it is like in other industry, you can't see the profits exponentially. There will be a slow and steady income, which may be a weakness for this thing. We have to invest or we have to spend time in educating the farmers how they treat the customer, how they have to behave, how they have to educate. We have to educate them a lot for them because they might be having the knowledge or without knowledge. So that will be a thing. Sometimes there some governments may not give us support, like Maharashtra or some other state. There may be a problem in getting the support from the government also. And finally, if you see, like as in the threat, since everyone is migrating, there will be a lack of farmers also in the future. So finally, coming to the conclusion of the hope you have understood the scope of starting an agri-tourism center. If there is a thoughtful planning and we need to know how and what to give to the customer, turning your vision to reality will not be a big problem. Always keep the needs of your customer in mind at all times. It is not only making profit and popular, it is we have to see the client's needs are fulfilled to promote the thing. These are the various places where today this agri-tourism in last 5 to 10 years they have promoted. I have given you some links and stuff so you can see and have a go through of it. Here there are some centers where they don't have any big hotel stay or they don't have any big accommodation types. Then also they have designed the thing in a proper way. There are two things which you have to see it in a agri-tourism center. hygiene, and safety. If you are able to do these two things, trust me, you can very well or easily make a agri-tourism centers in any farm at your jurisdiction or whichever you are owning. This is the thing. Hope guys you are happy to know about the scope of agri-tourism. Let me come up with new videos. In the next video we'll just talk about more about agri-tourism and what all the advantages are there and how to even start and what are the guidance you need to start. Let me sign out for this time. Catch you in my next meeting. Thank you.